Hey everybody, welcome to the brand new episode of the Irish Wrestling Podcast, joined by Colin Byrne as always. Just the two of us tonight. We're here to preview OTT Spankdown. Still the funniest name for a wrestling show I've ever heard.
Definitely an 80s porno name, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like right, what I don't even know
What was
what
he
they
thinking?
expect.
What was he
I
thinking when he
I
named
don't
that?
know. Spankdown. I don't know. I know Spanky but I don't know what
Yeah, that's
Spankdown.
obviously where it came from. But Jesus, think about the connotations, Joe, for fuck's sake.
And it's a family friendly show, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope there's no spanking on it.
There has to be a little bit of spanking.
Does anybody know why he got the name Spanky?
Yeah, I've no idea. I know that he was always been called Spanky, and I know that that's
Hmm.
his nickname, but I don't know where it actually came from.
I
There's
wonder, is it
some,
something adult version of it, or is it
there's something
something?
in the back of my head that tells me where I heard it before. But it's just not coming to me but there's just something there it's telling me that I do know why and I have heard it before, but it's just not there at the moment. But if
If
we keep it
anybody
throughout the
knows,
show, I'll throw it
if
out.
anybody knows before we wrap up, leave it in the comments. Let us know why Brian Kendrick or the Brian Kendrick is called Spanky. So like as we said, we're here to talk about SmackDown. So far, as we record, there's 7 matches announced. Joe will probably end up putting up another 3 or 4 after we recorded and edit all this. That way, you won't be able to put back into it. So if you're wondering why they aren't in this preview, talk to Joe. Talk to Joe. We'll go through the card anyway. A few matches with some stakes in them. Tag team match first of all, Social Elite versus the Freshnas. If you watched the OTT social medias last week, there is a stipulation in this match. If they lose, is that right? Calling the Freshnas lose, they lose their jobs, or are they
I
split
don't
up,
think it's
or
been made 100% clear, but we do know that Joe has it out for them and has wanted to get rid of them and has fired them previously, and then they robbed the contract from the Saviors, and so we do know that there is a vendetta there, but it, I think Joe said that it gives them the excuse to fire them,
mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's specifically stipulated that if they lose, they're fired. But then on the flip side, we have the if they win not just the 5K challenge that's on the line, but they also win the OTT Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, huh?
So it looks
Fre-
like it's pretty much all or nothing, doesn't it, for the Freshness?
It is. I don't think they can go back and find Los Mapadores wherever they disappeared to. So I'm not sure if that's a stipulation or
They'll probably
what.
come
But
out in the Conquistador outfit next.
as long as they don't interfere during this match and help them win, you never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But it it's a tricky one to decide, like because Social Elite are one of the tag teams of the year.
Red hot.
They've been killing
Absolutely
it.
red hot.
They would fit in any promotion around the world, or they're a solid tag team.
Hmm.
I think they've got a good future if they stay together. So I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be. I'm not sure. Is it time for them to drop the titles yet? I think I'd like to see them facing a
Maybe
big.
maybe not. But
Yeah, I don't think so.
there's also the wild card at play that we haven't mentioned, which is Jay Money.
Hmm.
What's his involvement going to be, or if any, is there going to be any involvement? But he is certainly a wild card coming into this match. So, yeah, interesting. A lot of stakes.
Yeah,
A lot
it's
of
going to be
stakes.
good. Something, something. It's not predictable at all. Like,
That's what I
Um,
like. That's what I like. Can't call it at the
uh,
moment.
another tag team match. There's a couple of tag team matches on this card. Another one. We've got the Sem and Ilia against CJ West and Alan Grayson. Is
Yeah,
it Alan
it's
or
just Alan.
Alex?
It's just
Alan,
Alan.
just Alan.
Just Alan. Not even
Um,
Grayson. It's just Alan. Just call him Alan.
is this one of those matches where all competitors can't get along, or can they
Yeah, it's a
coexist, kind of
strange
thing?
bedfellows match, isn't it?
Mm,
Yeah, it's like we've seen Ilya and Sam had their trouble in the past, and we now have CJ and Alan having their trouble. So, yeah, it's
why does Sam still tag with Ilya when he treats him like dirt?
I don't think
Is
Sam
there
even knows what the fuck's going on, man.
surely he must have any concept of what's going on, that they treat him like shit and like he needs to get away from them, and Eventually going to get his.
Man, no one knows what's going through that fella's head. Like he's like that's the whole thing. Like you can ask these questions till you're blue in the face, but
He doesn't
like
speak, so it's you're never going to get an answer.
but I don't even think he fucking knows, to be quite honest. Like he's just mad, isn't he? Like he's just haft. So God knows, like why does he do things? I don't know. I don't know why he has a bag with him. I don't know why he wears a top hat. I don't know why he has paint all over him and he doesn't get a new pair of trousers that aren't slashed to bits.
Why is the
You
sky
know?
blue?
Yeah. I don't know. Don't know even why he wrestles. We don't even know where he lives or where he comes from. Like
Parts unknown, right?
he's
No,
just an anomaly. Like he's an absolute anomaly. So
definitely from parts unknown. One of those places.
yeah, yeah. He gets someplace weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
as
like
official?
some like maybe somewhere like the Firefly Funhouse in his head. He can go into some funhouse of his own where he can hang out and nobody knows where to find him.
Maybe like he's normal and he thinks he's asleep or he's dreaming. And do you ever see like do you know Fight Club? Like maybe it's the same as his Tyler Durden. Like
Maybe, maybe,
maybe he's just a normal bloke until it
maybe
comes
it,
to wrestling shows.
maybe it's his world and we're all just living in it.
Maybe he thinks he's sitting there watching it, like Ed Norton, watching
Maybe
Tyler Durden have fights, but it's not. He's actually in the fight. Just throwing it out there.
could be, could
Anything is
be,
possible. Anything is possible.
could
But
be.
yeah, it's a bit
Uh,
of a weird one. This is gonna be just a bit. It's gonna be full of hijinks, I believe, and I reckon teams are going to get involved with each other. And it could just be an absolute calamity. And if anyone watched Contenders, we saw what Alan did at
hmm
Contenders to fuck over his team. So we know that he's not above that. So it's not all about winning for someone like him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he costs himself and CJ the match again.
Probably, probably. Sam deserves a win. Sam needs a win. He's sick of seeing him lose. Um, Another match announced. Conn Kelly, or he's going now as Conn
Unshocked.
Shocked against Big Boots Murphy. Conn, I'm not sure if you saw on social media as we record today, has a promo out with as a kind of like a Stan Eminem love story to Trent Seven.
Dear
Uh,
Trent, I wrote to you, but you still ain't calling. I left my
Conn's
cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom.
Conn's mustache is out of control.
Yeah, and we've seen the Tash, if anyone's noticed as well recently in social media posts. Even before today, there's been a lot of this going on with Conn, and I've
He's
seen
done
seen one in the School of Irish Wrestling recently where a few of the lads are posing, and he was posing like this. So I think it's been foreshadowed.
hmm
Um, I actually didn't pick up on it, to be honest. I thought that he was just taking the piss. And then I saw the promo today. So yeah, it seems like he's a bit of a fucking psycho.
There's not well, just to let him know. There's not a lot of mountains in Cavan. It's a it's a lot of lake land in Cavan, so there's not very mountains. So it can't be from Mustache Mountain up there. There's no Mustache Mountains in Cavan. Sorry, Con. I'm not sure if Trent
He's from Mustache, the big hill over there.
Mustache Lake, Mustache Lake Land Dairies. Uh, this match has got big boot to the face written all over it, right? Knock his mustache clean off.
I reckon that's what Boots will have planned, but don't know. Never rule out the Mad Dog. Especially like this.
This version of him.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unknown. We don't really know what to expect this time around. Like, we know that he has that fight and killer instinct in him, and
hmm
he this never say die attitude. Is this new love for Trent Seven going to change the way he works, change the way he wrestles,
hmm
maybe set him on the path of a few wins that he's desperately needed, possibly. So I think he's definitely a bit of an unknown coming into this one, and um, I think Boots needs to be pretty careful in this one to how this one's gonna go, because I don't think he'll know what way it's gonna go either. Like, or what Con he's gonna get. Is he gonna get good old Con Kelly, the
hmm
scrappy little underdog, or is he gonna get this new Conn, Seacht, bit of a fucking psychopath streak, and I'm like, I'm very uneasy. Like I saw the promo and I got very uneasy. Um, but also like very
Yeah.
intrigued about
He's
what's going to happen. So
like the old Ned Flanders thing. It looks like he's got something to hide with the mustache. Like
yeah.
there's definitely something that hidden behind that thing that's hasn't been unearthed yet.
Yeah. Sorry, just for anyone who doesn't get the reference, and I know I'm being very on like that I'm explaining it here, but like shocked is seven in Irish. Just
Hmm.
for anyone who doesn't know, or any of the people who might be watching who don't have a grasp of the Irish language, shocked is seven, so it's Con shocked, so it's Con seven, essentially the moniker of Trent seven. Um, so yeah, that's where that new names comes from. So yeah,
Has he
but
got
it's
his adopted
interesting.
son?
Imagine, yeah,
Looking for
Jesus.
adoption
I'm sure
papers?
Trent's done enough fucking around in his time as well.
That's why he's avoiding OTT all this long. Doesn't
Yeah,
want to bump
yeah.
into Con, his
It's not
adopted son.
not Twilight Bates that anymore. He needs a new son as well, doesn't he? So
Could happen.
yeah.
It might work. It might actually work.
Yeah, I wonder what Trent will have to say about it. I
Yeah.
really wonder what Trent will have to say.
Next up, we have Renzo Rose defending the NLW title against Vaughn Vertigo, all the way over from Canada. Again, another match where he's not defending the title against an Irish challenger.
As he said he wouldn't.
Yes, he's a man of his word. Um, but nobody likes him. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, like
Yikes.
listen, he's been on a fucking tear, hasn't he? Like
Hmm.
Renzo, like love him or hate him, winning clean or dirty, he's getting the job done, and he's putting a stamp on the NLW Championship. So and he's bringing it all over Europe, and
Yeah,
he's wrestling the best of Europe as well. So are we seeing a foreshadowing OTT European Championship? Are we going to see a name
maybe.
change
Yeah,
potentially? I'm not sure. When he started going about the whole European stuff, I thought maybe we will. They might change the name of it. We've seen a couple of new championships as well recently, so yeah, I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't put it past him.
put it against them. Yeah, change it up
Renzo, Renzo's someone you can definitely see as a future OTT champion. Like
100%. Yeah,
absolutely, like he's got as much as he can get. He's got it to be a champion, and I think he'll be a great champion for OTT. That
yeah,
this version of him, like not a baby face version of him who's sucking up to the fans, but this actual version of him who's you know just holds the title for way too long and everybody hates him, but he's defending against the best of the best. So this is a good way of him stepping up and challenging all these people coming in to challenge him. They're coming after him. So he's Vaughn's a good talent. I haven't seen him live in person. Oh, he's his second OTT appearance. He faced
yeah. I,
LJ
I
in
missed him
Derry.
the last time he was over
Yeah.
as well. I wasn't at that show, but heard very good things about him, and
Mm.
from seeing him, very good performer. He got a great reception. The people who were at the show that I know said that they wanted him back. So it's great to see him come back, and
Yeah.
in front of maybe a more um nothing against Derry fans, but I'm gonna say more of a wrestling crowd. I reckon it was more of an all ages crowd that were maybe a bit unknown to what
Mm.
they were seeing in front of them, where you're gonna have a lot of regulars at this show this week, even though it is an all ages show. And we're gonna see gonna be a lot more regulars at the show, and
Yeah.
they'll be familiar with him, even though a lot probably haven't seen him. They'd have seen him
Well,
on the
if
VOD
if
and
you
stuff. So
are if you are watching this and you're looking, like, have a look on YouTube. He's a video editor as well. Edits videos for a lot of wrestlers, but he does a lot of his own stuff as well. Like, so he has a highlight package in his matches. Like he's had matches with Mustafa Ali. Like literally about a few weeks after he got released, he was one of his first opponents after he got released from
mhm.
WWE, and that match is sick. It's a wicked match, and he was facing Trent Seven recently as well. So go and have a look at some of his matches. They're on YouTube. So
And you interviewed him there
I
only
did
last
last
week,
week.
Terry.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you want to know a bit more about the man as well, go and check out that
That's
interview
my
with
actual second time interviewing him. I interviewed him after his like, first OTT appearance just to
Mhm.
get an idea who he was. But this time we had a real, thorough talk about wrestling and life in general. Like, so there's two
Yeah.
interviews there. If you want to know anything about him, just go and have a
One
look,
of the things
sure.
as well that I always kind of try keeping ear to the ground for is especially when it comes to imports, how the lads in the back found him. Did he come in? Did he make himself one of the guys? Did
Yeah,
he present himself well? And from what I heard, there's good reports there. So yeah, that's always a massive plus. And we have heard of people who, and there's nothing against the people who come in and keep themselves to themselves, there's nothing wrong with that. But are you going to be making a mark? Are you going to be saying, "Oh, this is why you should be bringing me back again?" Where the people who we see make that mark, like they get involved, they befriend people, um they might even help out in other people's matches and look for ideas and stuff. So there's a reason why you see the same people being brought over again and
yeah,
again. It's because they're valuable in more places than just one. So
absolutely.
and I think this just shows how well this guy was the last time we was here that he's getting another booking. So
Yeah. And it is
yeah,
one of those people that, get to see him now because he won't be long before he snapped up. He
yeah,
has
yeah.
been getting a lot of reviews over in America at the minute, so there's a lot of
He's
people
in
looking at
he's
him.
in a great place over there as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like he has there's so much wrestling going on around him, and he's wrestling everywhere, and he's wrestling every week as
everywhere.
well. So, yeah, it's a shame that we don't have that over this side of the
Yeah, yeah,
pond. Although we are seeing it build and we are seeing it grow, but it's very hard for full-time wrestlers to earn a living this side of the
hmm
pond, where
yeah,
the guys in the States and Canada are able to wrestle multiple times a week, and make that living
yeah,
traveling the road. So, and this guy seems to be fucking everywhere. He keeps popping up on my feeds that he's wrestling here,
yeah,
there, and everywhere. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's not long before someone plucks him up.
yeah. Well, we can get into it. The show's named after him. So Brian Kendrick, another tag team match, is teaming with LJ Cleary against BDE. This is LJ's last appearance. Am I right? He's not appearing for, well, no, there's no matches announced for
No,
Fight Factory. So,
no, not that I know of. He did say that he's this is his last one before he heads back off on tour number three. For Noah. So, unless he has something sneaky planned, but I think
hmm
he is booked on the 26th. I'm going to say that he only put up there today. That he has a match there. 21st actually, 21st.
Okay, so I'll be gone.
So
So
he's
to
he's he's
Japan.
in he's in Japan on the 21st in a 3-on-3 tag. Um yeah, 24th and 22nd. So yeah, I reckon what's he's
17th is Fight
yeah.
Factory's show. So it's possible he may
Potential, yeah. See, I don't
surprise
know. I don't know
appearance.
if he might be over there before then. I don't know how long he'll go over
Mm.
for before. Um, will he go straight in? Will he be flying in on Monday and have a match on the Tuesday? Or
You
will
never
it will it
know.
be a case
Yeah.
that he's flying in on Thursday and Friday and not having to work till the following
Well,
Tuesday?
it'll already be Thursday when he flies on Wednesday over
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So he
yeah,
has a day behind, so he
yeah,
has to catch up. So
yeah.
I don't
But
know what the jet lag was like.
potentially we may see him pop up at Fight Factory next
Yeah, because Fight Factory
Friday.
they haven't announced anything at all.
They're not announcing anything.
Everything's a surprise. It's J
Yeah,
Money's magical
yeah,
mystery show, which is going to be a lot of fun. Like I'm sick and
yeah.
I'm going to miss it. Like, but I like this concept of Fight Factory actually doing like not announcing what's going to happen. I know some people like, oh, we need to know
So
what
yeah,
matches what.
it's very much a double-edged sword. Like there's
Mm,
there's there's pros and cons. So like you have that, like me, like I'm gonna be there regardless of whether there's matches announced or there's matches
yeah,
not announced.
yeah.
So for me, I'd rather matches not be announced and give me a bit of a surprise. But then on the flip side of that, it's hard to sell tickets without draws,
Mm,
So you usually need to announce matches to draw those fans in to draw the ticket sale. So
yeah,
it is very much a double-edged sword, and I can understand why promoters do announce their cards or a lot of their cards. I prefer at least one, maybe two matches not be announced on a card, but I can understand from a promotional side standpoint why that's done.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Well, it's good to see them back. It's been a while since Fight Factor have
Yeah,
had a
absolutely.
show.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
their main shows, and bring their own booze show. So
Hmm.
I'm sure everybody who's going there is going to have a blast,
Yeah.
especially with Jay Money in charge. And
Mayhem. It's gonna be mayhem.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of this match, Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick, Spanky is an OTT. Is this his first time ever
As
appearing
far
for
as I know,
OTT?
yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah. Yeah. He's done a few tours of the UK
Mm.
recently. Last year and this year, so I think it was inevitable that it was only a matter of time before he rears his head. And obviously, this date was the one that stood out. I'm a bit surprised at the match, if I'm being perfectly
Yeah.
honest. I didn't expect it to be a tag match. I
He's been
thought,
working singles on his tour, right? Steve
yeah,
Savage
yeah.
had a match with Steve Savage 2 weeks ago, like
He's been
singles.
working as a singles now. I don't know if he's just done singles, but I have
Mm.
seen a lot of his singles, or he's been working solo, as in like he's been in multi-mans.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm a bit surprised with the match. I'm sure it's going to be a great match. BDE, our tag team of the year.
Yeah.
LJ Cleary, we all know how good he is, So I don't think there'll be anything wrong with the match. I'm just a bit surprised that it wasn't Brian Kendrick against someone else, like in a
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
one-on-one, like as a bit of a showcase. The promo took me by surprise as well because I don't really get it. So the promo where BDE are after robbing Limo's dog
Mm-hmm.
and then run off with it, and then Limo comes out and he's like, "Where's my fucking dog?" Like, I can't remember what the dog's name even is. And then like
What was
it
it?
cuts
Was it?
to, but then it cuts to this match
Yeah.
graphic, and I'm like, where the fuck is Limo? Like
Looking for his dog.
but I expected it to be BDE versus Limo and someone.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
like. I'm like, what's the whole point of the Limo stuff if this was the match that was to announce? It just took me a bit by surprise. I was like,
Unless
what the fuck's
unless
going on?
there's shenanigans and Limo's gonna come out with the dog chasing BDE around the fucking ring or something.
I'm not sure he will come out with the dog
Yeah, yeah.
because
It was Limo's dog, right? Or somebody else's?
was it actually his dog? Like,
I don't know. It
no, it
looks
wasn't
like
Lemo's dog.
whoever's holding the camera, it might have been their dog.
I
I'm
know
not
whose
gonna.
dog it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
his.
I
I'm
know
sure
whose
it
dog
was
it
too.
was. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's
But anyway,
that's why I don't think the dog will be at the show.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um. So yeah. Yeah. But listen, it's gonna be a great match. And then like, what implications does that have? Like, will Lemo insert himself into the match? Will he get involved in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah. Could it cost Brian Kendrick and LJ the match, or he'll help them win it? You never know.
Possibly. Yeah.
There's a chance there we don't know. It's not
Yeah.
going to be that predictable. Like so.
Hmm.
Second last match announced so far, Session Moth against Nina Samuels, former WWE NXT UK talent, someone
Yeah.
who is currently holding 7 titles at the minute in the UK. This is someone not to be messed with. She's a extremely talented female wrestler or wrestler overall.
Hmm.
Lot of experience. Good match for this is the first. I'm not sure. Is it the first time they've ever faced?
Um, I'm gonna say no, and just because purely on they must have crossed paths somewhere.
Mm,
Is it the first time that they faced one on one? Possibly is it the first time they faced an OTT. I think so,
yeah.
but like they've worked so many UK shows together that they must have crossed paths at
You never know.
some stage.
We only got Session Moth and Raven Creed, a few months ago for the first time
Yeah,
ever. Like
yeah,
so, you
that's
just
true.
don't
That's
know
true.
because Martina is sometimes in tag matches with men
Mm,
and women, and you just never know
yeah.
who she's
So I
faced
know
with.
that they both work Riot together,
Yeah,
and they both work
I suppose she's the right
progress
champion.
together.
Yeah,
They must have crossed paths. I'm just go out on a limb and say that
I'm
they
just
have.
checking.
I'd be very surprised if they haven't.
It's I'm not. Is the title? It doesn't say if the title's on the line. Actually, I'm not sure. Doesn't confirmed.
It doesn't say. My presumption would be that it is.
Yeah,
Maybe an eliminator. Or a match to a match.
yeah, yeah.
Which would I wouldn't be against, but it's great to see Nina back in OTT. She's a hell of a talent. I'm surprised it's actually taken
When was the last time she was here? A couple of years before the pandemic. I know she was
Defiant, I'm gonna
really that
say.
long.
I think so.
Fuck. It's a
I
long
think was
time.
that the Defiant show. I think I'd have to go back and look,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just off the top of the head, I'm gonna say Defiant was the last time I can remember. Um, but she's a hell of a talent. She
Mm,
was massively over in NXT UK. She had her Nina Samuel show.
yeah.
Even outside of the ring, she's so good. You know, like she's able to. She's working on the mic. She's doing our skits backstage and stuff. You know, and she's transitioning that into some of her rounds, especially in Riot.
Yeah, yeah.
Where she's able to just go out and have the crack, but like she's a hell of a wrestler as well. Um, gonna like tear the curtain down here, but she's actually Rocky Mac's wife,
Oh,
if anyone
yeah.
was unaware. So that they recently tied the knot last year, I think. They both live over in the UK, so um yeah, so it's good to see her back. And if anyone's ever at a UK show that Nina's on, you're nearly sure to see Rocky somewhere in the crowd or in one of the booths or something. So if you're ever over there, make sure you go and say hello
Yeah.
to the old Irish legend that is Rocky Mac. But yeah,
Cool.
so it's great to see her back, and like it's a challenge as well, isn't it, for Session What? Like it's a
Big time, yeah.
credible challenger to bring in for if it is a championship match to like because I hate these. I not that I hate them. There's nothing wrong with having matches, but I hate throwaway matches. I hate these.
No one, it's just
Yeah, just
title match for the sake of it, knowing that there's not going to
yeah,
change hands
yeah.
kind of thing.
Knowing
Yeah.
that there's not
But
going to be a
that
title change,
that
and
happens. That happens every promotion, everywhere.
yeah, I
Like
know,
as of tonight, Adam Copeland is doing it.
which is why I'm a fan of eliminator matches. Like if
Yeah,
someone's
yeah,
coming in for a chance against the champion, don't make it a title match, make it an eliminator that they need to beat the champion to get their championship match and have it as a non-title match, you know, but
yeah,
have a stake on it that if they beat the champion, then they come back for another match for the
yeah,
championship
yeah.
that time, you know, rather than just a cold championship match.
Mm,
So but I like the couple of things that I'm not against when it comes to that is a big credible challenger,
hmm.
which we have here in Nina
Yeah,
Samuels, or a big credible storyline going into the match. Um, so yeah, it's good to see a credible challenger who that kind of it's not as obvious. Like there is that bit of doubt. Will the championship change hands?
you don't know. You don't
Could it
know.
change hands?
Martinez
Could
after
Nina
getting
the belt collector pick up another belt? You know?
exactly, yeah. Martinez, she's got her visa for America. Like she's going, giving it her last try. Like she's heading to
Hmm.
America. She's going to try and get bookings over there. So you don't know. Maybe she's got something lined up that she's heading over, and she might.
Quite
This is
possibly.
again, we constantly say this on the shows. You have to go out and see Irish wrestling because
Hmm.
you just don't know when it's going to be the last time you're going to see these people for a while.
Yeah.
Like it's people get snapped up at any moment and you'll never see them again. Live in person, like unless you want to pay $150 fucking dollars for a ticket for a restricted view in Glasgow,
Yeah.
something like
Like
that. But
here we are like at the moment, and I know like that just on that point, I know that he was over last year and he said that he wants to do another match and he wants to do a Scrapper Mania or a stadium match. But
mm,
Osprey was over here in August, I'm gonna say.
yeah,
You know,
uh,
like
first week of September, I think it was it?
September was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Um, he's now after signing for AEW. You know, potentially that's the last time we see Osprey. Even though he says that he wants to come back and he wants to have a
It's
stadium match, it
not
becomes
that
a bit
easy, yeah.
it becomes more difficult now that he's signed to AEW.
Yeah.
And potentially does his price tag go up with that? Is
Oh
it
yeah.
feasible to get him back over? Um, so there's all these different permutations that are constantly changing. So potentially the last time we saw Osprey could have been the last time that we see him.
I know.
Same with LJ. This could be the last time that we see LJ. LJ could go over to Noah. He could get signed to a massive contract. One of the other Japanese promotions could come in and pick him up. WWE could come with a contract
Yeah.
tomorrow from,
Hmm.
and again, that could be the last time that we see LJ. So it's very easy to see people like get snapped up and you don't know when the last time is going to be, or very rarely we do. I think the
Yeah.
last time people actually knew was Jordan was one that we knew that was probably the last time that we'd see
Mm-hmm.
him when he had his match against Haskins. And I remember when Keith Lee was over a few years
Mm-hmm.
ago, everyone knew that that was Keith's last kind of time to be here before he went over to NXT, you know.
Yeah.
So it's but most of the time you don't know. You just don't see them again, you know.
Just
And
go
it's like,
and
oh
just go
bollocks, I
out and get
wish.
out there and just go see
Yeah,
them. Just do it once. If you've
yeah,
never been to a show, just do it once. And if
yeah.
you're watching this and you haven't been to a show, I don't know, maybe you just like watching the on-demand stuff. That's fine. Go and watch the on-demand
This
stuff as well.
this location as well.
Mm-hmm.
The KFRC in Tala, it's a local venue for me. I'm looking at the thing here to see what time it starts at.
Four o'clock.
I think it's an afternoon show, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
So the KFRC in Tala is one of the easiest locations to get to. There's a bus stop literally 50 meters away from that's serviced by the 27. There's a Lewis line that's about a 10-minute walk away. That an easy walk. Um, there's um countrywide bus routes that stop at the Red Cow, which you can get the bus to the Red Cow, then the Lewis up a couple of stops from the Red Cow, and then walk the 10 minutes to the venue, and then the same back. It's very accessible. And it's a great venue. There's free parking at the venue as well for people who drive. There's no real excuse not to get out to it. So if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, I'd love to see X, Y, and Z," or "I'd love to see this match," or "I'd love to do this," or "I'm doing nothing on Sunday," like get out and get to it, like
Yeah.
genuinely,
And
because
go. You're going
it's
to go out and see a main event. Well, I'm presuming this is the main event of Trent and man like Dereiss, which is going to be something else. This is going to be something wicked. Like we know Trent's already signed to TNA, so
Mhm.
he is the OTT champion. So there is that, you know, kind of it's not a contract, but there's that thing there where he's going to make a bit more regular appearance with OTT as the champion than he would if he
Yeah.
wasn't the champion. Man like Dereiss has been, turning heads for a while. He
He's
was
been on
over in America.
WWE and AEW in the last year.
Hmm
Not
He,
as
he
not
was
as man like the Reese, but he got fucked around as security a couple of
he,
times.
he's rumbled with a few big names. So like Mark, it'll be out probably after this airs. But Mark did an interview with TNA champion Moose, who's coming over to the UK in July, and he's called out Michael Oku and man like Dre specifically. He wants matches with those two lads.
Yeah.
He hasn't called out anybody else. Michael Oku, who Michael Oku is. He's had them fucking matches with Will Ospreay, and Michael Oku is one of the hottest names on the planet, and he called out man like Dre. So it's it's only a matter of time before a man like Dereiss gets snapped up as well. He is
He's a
unbelievable.
grafter. He's a
Yeah.
grafter as well. Like he's I've never seen someone graft as hard as he has. And that's
Yeah.
not just going out and working, but like the fella's traveling the countries, traveling like the continent and the world
hmm
wrestling.
We
Um,
were
but every show you're at, I can guarantee you he's stuck a bit of merch in your face and asked you to buy it. Like
absolutely.
like he's a proper salesman, and like you need to have no shame in this
Yeah.
game. At the end of the day, he needs to put food on his table and get the bills paid.
Absolutely.
And how does he do
Absolutely.
that? He needs to sell merch and he needs to work. So if he's
Sell
going out and he's
himself.
sticking t-shirts or pins or anything else, light up glasses in your face, which he does at most shows that I'm at, like that's what everyone should be doing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Buy this,
Sell
you know.
yourself.
Yeah.
But he was we were in Philadelphia for the Progress show, and he was in the main event with Kid Like Us, and the American audience loved him. Like there was
Hmm.
50-50 split there of people who knew what Progress was and people who didn't. They were just there
Yeah.
to see, people on the card, but they loved him.
But
He came out.
he presents himself phenomenally, doesn't he? Like
Yeah.
like he has the light up glasses. He usually has the hood up, his jackets and his gear, and like his jacket is it like he doesn't wrestle in it, he just wears it to the ring. Like that's an investment in yourself. His gear is always top notch. And he usually comes out with a microphone in his hand rapping like
hmm
how like that like ticks so many boxes. And he hasn't even stepped foot in the ring yet and done like fucking 450s and
No,
whatever else he's
not even
doing
a
in there,
collar and
you know?
elbow tie
So
up, like not even a
yeah.
lockup. He's already
So
over with people. So that's,
yeah.
instant chemistry, instant people are
And then
like, who's this guy?
his whole back and forward with the crowd then when I saw when you say 2-1, you know, he's like he's putting you there. He's putting you
Mhm.
there before he even steps into the ropes, you
Yeah.
know. And like it's easy to see how people like just uh they just like go to him so easy, and they fall in love with him so easily, and what he's doing so easily, it's people just gravitate to the man. It's like, again, another one that's not long for these shores.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great match. It's a non-Irish main event match for the OTT title. It doesn't happen very often. When it does happen, probably one of the reasons it is happening is because of, we haven't got Sammy D on the card. We haven't got the draw on the card. There's no sign of them after, what was the last show called? The OTTs, you know, Sammy put them all up for a challenge, whatever it was called. Well, it'll come to us,
Yeah,
but
fucking hell. How have I forgot? Yeah, I had a meaning to the name.
Supremacy,
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 fucking
supremacy.
hell. How did that one go?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
no
yeah,
OTT or
there's
no
yeah, where are they?
draw.
Like that's the question, like, so we don't have no flex advertisers. We know Charlie's out injured.
Hmm.
Jay, as we believe, picked up an injury in that match against Sam. He could still be dealing with that. I don't know the full extent of that injury, but I do know that he is out injured after that match. And then Sammy wasn't too happy after that match either. Maybe he's at home nursing his wounds that aren't actually physical, or feeling sorry for himself, may I say.
Stroking,
And
stroking
then
the
where's
ego.
yeah, and then where's Barry, So
Yeah.
will we see them? I don't know. I can only hope that we do. But as of right here and now, they're not advertised.
I'm glad to say that the snake isn't going anywhere. The draw isn't going anywhere. Maybe it's time for a new path. I haven't even made my mind up what I'm going to do with Scrapomania. Is the snake going to face Nick Nemeth? Or is he going to face Trent Seven for the World Championship? But as a new vision comes to mind, the draw must come together. And at Spankdown, I require all members of the draw to be there. And all you people are invited too, to the meeting.
Half the card, if you look at it, pick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people on that card on different matches aren't from Ireland. And that's 7 matches, and 8 people and 7 matches aren't from Ireland.
Yeah, that's probably the first like that in a long, long time.
There's no draw.
Long, long time.
There's it's the future. Like, I know everybody's there. There's a massive, amount of talent in Ireland that are,
Hmm.
that are coming up, but it's very rare to see a card, especially in OTT, where so many matches and half the people aren't from Ireland, especially in the main event. But it's still going to be a hell of a show. It's
Yeah,
still going to highlight.
I know you're saying that there's a lot there that aren't from Ireland, but there's a lot that we would class as our own.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Still, like, so
same.
we do have Sam and Ilia and Renzo and who else? Josh,
I didn't even. I didn't
Dereiss
even.
and Trent, Dereiss
I
and
didn't even count
Trent.
Josh.
Although Dereiss and Trent are both from the UK, Birmingham and Wolves, like they're practically adopted at this stage, aren't they?
I know,
Like,
yeah,
so.
but like, just in general, like, if you look at a card like
Yeah,
that,
no,
you
I get what you're
expect,
saying, yeah, but
especially with how dominant the draw have been over the last 2 years, you'd
yeah.
expect them to be
Well,
on
usually
every
half
card.
the matches are made up of the draw.
Yeah,
I remember there was one time that I think that song played 6 times in one night or
yeah.
something like
That
that.
was anniversary or one. Yeah,
Very
one.
very annoying,
Uh,
very annoying.
was it? It was when Sammy won when he beat Omari, wasn't it? There's like
Um,
there was a few
Possibly.
segments. Jay and yeah, then the
I just
lads had
remember
the
hearing
tag
it.
titles and Jay had the was it the GN title?
But for some reason, I have a complex show in my head
All right.
that it was at. Because I think they did actually go to not using the music so much for Jay
Mm,
when he was on his own, and they found ways around, or maybe they didn't find ways around it, but it seemed to be that like they'd go straight into a match from a segment, so
mm.
that they'd all come out together, and then a couple of lads would just stay in the ring to
Yeah,
start
yeah,
their match,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
so that it didn't have to be played again and stuff like that, so.
Good job. They don't have to pay copyright every time they fucking play it.
Yeah, should put it on YouTube. It'll get restricted in Russia.
They got fucking
Um,
blocked.
Gets restricted in Russia every fucking
Oh,
time.
copyright strikes are a
Every
nightmare on
time.
YouTube.
Um,
Afghanistan and Russia are the two worst.
I don't know why Kings of Leon Crawl is blocked in Russia, but it is. So if there's anyone watching from Russia, if you ever watching one of our shows and it goes quiet, it's because that song is playing in the background, and it's have to be a mute for that segment. But yeah,
Yeah,
but listen, like it's a
that's the
good
show.
card.
Mhm.
It's the start of the road to Scrapper. Or we've already had the start of the road, and now this is maybe a bit of fallout from the last show. Will we see stuff from the last show with none the draw on the card? It's hard to tell, but where are we? We're in May,
May.
Scrappers in August, so we only really have like realistically two more shows. Or if you throw in like a Dublin Belfast show,
Mm.
that's a weekend of shows together. But like we're realistically saying that there's only two, maybe three or four if they do double headers with Belfast.
Yeah.
Shows left before Scrappermania, and we're no clearer on where we're gonna be for Scrapper yet.
No,
So
all we
match
know
wise,
is
so
Be Cool won the Rumble and he's guaranteed a title shot, the Scrapper, and that's
if
it.
Joe remembers.
Uh, we'll not let him forget. He got thrown
Yeah.
out for.
Yeah.
He's not going to forget that.
Yeah,
But
so
that's so yeah.
presumably that's our main event is Be Cool and
Yeah.
Trent 7 at Scrappermania. But like, yeah, there's still a lot to be determined before we get there.
Yeah.
So
Loads.
the next couple of months are going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. That's the show, lads. So if you're going on Sunday, we'll see you there. We'll all be there. Hopefully with t-shirts on and it's not too cold or there's no rain. We'll be standing outside waiting to get in. But it should be a hell of a show. If you're not always subscribed to our channel, make sure you do that now. Like I said, leave comments and what your thoughts are on these matches, your outcomes, and who you think's going to win. Check out our channel. There's loads of interviews, so loads of content over the last few weeks. Mark is doing a lot of interviews through Body Slam that are, it's not a collaboration, but we're using Body Slam and Irish Wrestling are putting out interviews together. I had an interview with Big Damo and Axel, formerly known as Sanity. That's out at the minute, and as of this recording,
Axel was so chill. I didn't expect
isn't
him to
he?
be as chill as he
He
was.
was brilliant.
He's
I
so
didn't expect him to
daunting though.
talk so
Like
much.
he's
Yeah.
so fucking daunting. I met him before, and
Yeah.
like he was really nice, but like he was really quiet. But he comes off as this like quiet, I'm gonna fucking kill you type. So I couldn't
When you
believe
spend
how
that
actual
much,
chill he was.
when he spent that much time with Walter, before he became Gunther,
Yeah.
you're looking at him as like, fuck, I'm not messing with this boy at all.
Yeah.
I was not expecting him, but he was just chatting, like it was
It was
just
a
a
good
chit
laugh.
chat.
It was a very good laugh.
I don't think I got asked like 3 or 4 questions throughout the whole show. Like
Yeah.
they were happy enough to just talk away.
You
So
could even see Damo when Axel was telling a couple of stories. Damo was there pissing himself laughing as
yeah,
well, so
yeah, it's
no,
cool.
very good character. Very, very
Yeah.
good character.
Yeah, so that's like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week before Fight Factory, or we'll probably review this show
There's
and
nothing to even
I know we
preview for
can't
Fight
preview Fight
Factory.
Factory. We try and get Katie on, but she's not going to tell us anything.
Will we do like a 2-minute episode? Fight Factory is this Friday at this address.
Oh
That'll
yeah,
be it.
this episode is also brought to you by One Fall, the comic book by Foxy and Brian. Make sure you go to the lads on Sunday and order it off them if they have got stuff in stock. Get one off them because it's phenomenal. Yeah, we'll see you on the next show. Bye, guys.
There you go.